Hey guys, Jay Hoyt here. Before we get into today's video, we tell you guys at the start of every single one of these videos that the vast majority of you guys are not subscribed. So make sure to go down below, hit that subscribe button, turn on those post notifications so you never miss an upload, and don't forget, you can always change your mind later. What's on, guys? Jay Hoyt back with you. Today, welcome back to Call of Duty Vanguard. We are back here on Das House, of course, my favorite map, and yeah, that's about it. Pretty much my favorite map. Can literally not play any other map and actually enjoy it. But either way, we are back here with a tweet from the CDL, the Call of Duty League, the COD League, whatever you want to call them. They put out a tweet. With your help, we are committed to making CWL 2022 the best season yet. Sit down with our general manager, that guy, in our first ever community update. With the amount of backlash that the COD League and Call of Duty in general have received since Vanguard has dropped, has been absolutely incredible. So you can see the tweet on your screen now. Obviously, we're not going to go all the way into those 9-minute into that 9-minute video, but of course we will be going over some of the key points from that video. So I will, if I remember, I usually don't, or I usually forget, I should say, but I'm gonna try to link this video in the description below. So a lot of things he talked about in this video. A lot of these are the bigger points. Obviously there's a lot of points in there, but here's some of the key points that we had. 12 teams at all of the majors confirmed. Now, in this, the original, okay, so it does say down here, the original plan was to have the 8 teams, the top 8 teams, to ensure that every match matters. I agree with this, yes, but you gotta have all 12 teams. Especially with how little teams you have to. Like, you can't not have your 12 teams there. Now, if you wanted to start top 8 in winners bracket, the bottom 4 in losers bracket, then okay, yes, but you gotta have something there. So every match at the major is top tier. Yeah, obviously at the majors are the biggest thing that COD has besides COD champs. So you definitely needed all 12 teams there. You had to have them all play. You had to bring the best of the best competition. Now here's the one thing I was hoping for that I mentioned all last year. They're predetermined matches. So I believe it all has to do with these predetermined online matches are going to be online this year. And all of those matches, I believe, will translate into the major for seeding, if I remember correctly. I could be wrong about that, but I believe that's what it was. So this ensures more consistent team versus team matchups across the season, because even that guy, I don't remember his name, I think it's a Daniel or something, I don't remember, some random guy, he said that there was some teams that didn't even play each other in a league. Like, what? Every team should be playing everybody all the time. Now, if there's teams that you play like 1 or 2 less times than the other, okay, fine. As long as you play them a few times throughout the year, you know, especially when you look at the 4 traditional sports, or 4 core sports, I should say, you know, usually a lot of teams play each other at least once a year, maybe twice, you know, if they're other conference or something. But with only 12 teams, you should be playing everybody, especially being that we're not selling out 60,000 or 60,000 seat stadiums and making a whole event with millions of dollars per weekend or per game or whatever. We need to have all 12 teams there, everyone playing everybody, because how do you know who's truly the best? By saying, okay, what if Atlanta FaZe never played Optic, right? Obviously that would never happen, but what if they never played each other? Then how do you know who's the best, right? They're both the teams, they're both undefeated, but they never played each other. So how would they know who's, like, that doesn't make sense. Or you wait till all the way at the end of the year until one team plays each other. Like, that's not right. Like, you got to have everyone play everyone throughout the season to kind of gauge where these teams actually are. Because if there's a couple teams that are playing the worst teams in the league all year long and that's how they're getting their wins, that's not fair to, like, an Atlanta FaZe or Optic or one of those top teams that are facing everybody and still putting up good numbers. Like, that's just not fair. The next thing they touched on is the third game mode. Now, we all know it was supposed to be, well, it is Control, right? They said that all along, that the third game mode is Control. However, upon release, it is not playable. Like, there is so many problems with Control. And also, it was rumored, or I guess leaked, or rumored leaked. I don't know what you want to call it, or I should call it a rumor because it had no truth behind it apparently. But Warzone apparently was in a vote or something to potentially be the third game mode, which apparently was not true at all. So I don't know where that came from. But Control is planned. A huge patch for Control is planned this week at some point. So hopefully that fixes majority of the issues, if not all of the issues. Obviously, there might be a couple of little tweaks here and there, but for the most part, Control is still planned for this week. Of course, was a couple weeks away from the first major of the year, or I should say the kickoff event. That's obviously a big problem. The next thing they talked about is ranked play. Of course, the one thing that everyone begs for every single year. They basically acknowledge that, yes, it hasn't come out yet, and they don't really have any information right now. More information in a few weeks is what they said. So that doesn't help us, right? After the first event is launched, like Vanguard has been out since what? Early October, November? Something like that. Or I think it was October or November? I don't remember when it came out. But it's been a couple months. Like we need to have it. Like if it wasn't in the first month, okay, fine. But eventually you gotta be like, okay, either we know how to do this or we don't. Plain and simple. Yeah, they understood the concerns of owners and fans. Okay, great. Yeah, you acknowledge that you guys are doing a crappy job. Let's get to it. Like, let's get, into this stuff. Now, also, I should mention, this is from the COD League, not from the developers of Call of Duty. So, obviously, that's a big difference. So, some of these are all reliant on the developers to fix or change or, put out certain things. So, I'm not fully blaming the Call of Duty League for all of this, but obviously a good portion of this is because of the developers, I should say. So the next thing they went over is the late season start. Like after 2 months, we have nothing, right? The players aren't even playing the game right now because there's nothing to play for until this kickoff classic, which really is just like, hey, let's go see how it plays on LAN and show off the new teams and some other stuff. Like, it's really not that exciting for this kickoff event. But yeah, this should be like a month after the game. Plain and simple. Like, just to have it out, get the initial tweaks in, and then slowly develop the guns, the meta, the maps. So you figure all that stuff out early on, the first month of the game. Then you have an event, kind of solidify some stuff, and then obviously stuff will change throughout the year depending on how stuff gets patched and put out in maps and everything. And apparently they understood that this season is way too late for a start, and definitely agree with that. Next thing is to aim to fix this and bring this forward for, I think this means future seasons, not previous seasons, but future seasons. So next year and beyond, they better be starting, I would say, at least 1 month after the season or after Vanguard launches, right? At that point, you need to have the first event. You need to have ranked play there, like. Or maybe a month and a half. Within the first 2 months, there better be the first event. That's all I'm saying. And same thing with ranked play. It has to come out. Because you gotta remember, this game's only a year lifespan. The second that new Call of Duty comes out, like I would say probably what, good 75% of the fan base, or player base, moves to that new game. So you gotta remember, all this is for a year. Well, depending on if, annual releases keep going, but we'll have to wait and see about that one because that's a whole different video. But next thing, what's happening in 2022? This is their big, like, hey, here's what's coming type of announcement. There's going to be pros versus the challenger scene. So I think they're calling it like a pro-am or something. So the CDL franchise teams versus the amateur challenger teams. I should say challenger because obviously a lot of the players are not amateurs. They are, but they're not. But there's definitely a lot of people that have been playing for a while in challengers as well. Apparently there's also going to be a CDL Warzone event. Don't really know too much about that. And then apparently they're continuing to experiment with some new features. They didn't really go too much into that one. Additionally, there's a couple other things that they announced that are going to be in the game apparently with some settings. The silent plant is apparently going to be introduced soon. Destructible elements toggle is reintroduced. Honestly, destructible elements, get them out of the game. Nobody wants this in the game. They are not good. They're so buggy. Get them out of the game. We don't want that. But yeah, I think that's the last one. Yeah, it's the last note I have. So a lot to look forward to, a lot to unpack with that one. Like I said, there's a whole 9-minute video explaining everything that is going on with the CDL in this video that I am referring to here. So if you haven't yet, make sure you go watch it. It's over on the COD, I think YouTube, if not Twitter, is YouTube/Twitter. I'll try to leave those down below in the description down below. But that's going to be it for today's video. If you did enjoy, hit that like button down below. Leave all of your thoughts and comments down there in that comment section. And if you haven't yet, or if you're brand new here, make sure to subscribe. Turn those post notifications on so you never miss an upload. And don't forget, you can always change your mind later. With all that being said, guys, we'll see you in the next one.